everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome to Quilting Unscripted, our special episode tonight. I'm Carla Alexiak of Quilting by the River.
And I'm Lynn Wheatley from Lynn Wheatley Designs.
And we're going to switch things up a little bit tonight, Lynn.
Yes.
And we're a little bit excited.
Yes, we are.
Because backstage, what we call backstage, we have Deb Tucker. Now, we've known Deb for years. And I feel really old when I say that. It's been a long time. Deb is the curator, owner, operator, the creative brain behind Studio 180 Design, your Rapid Fire Hunter Star, the Lemoyne, the Wing Clipper, and the list goes on and on and on. So let us know if you're out there. Throw us a comment, please, so that we know that we've got an audience tonight and everybody's ready to start watching Deb. I'm going to not make her waste too much time. Oh, hi, Leanne. Thank you for tuning in. We're not going to waste too much time because she's also in Houston. Correct?
Yes.
Correct.
So it's the break between market and festival. So she's setting up today to open festival tomorrow. So she's taking a little bit of time out to join us, and it's going to be a wonderful visit with her.
All right. So let's get her in here.
Hey, everybody.
There she is. Hi, Deb.
Hi, Deb.
Here. Yes, indeed. I am here in Houston for week 2. We were here last week for Quilt Market, and everything comes down, changing of the guard, everything changes, and we go back up again. And so we'll be here. If you're in Houston, come visit us.
Yes, definitely. So festival is a great show.
It is.
It's just, there's a lot of quilts. There's a lot of different vendors. It really is sort of the central hub there in the southern half of the United States. So if you ever get a chance to go, it's definitely worth the visit. It's definitely worth it.
Questions I have for you is,
okay,
for the audience that isn't familiar, especially us gang up north, we hear a lot about Houston and everybody just thinks Houston, but you mentioned market and festival. So market is for shops, teachers, the professionals.
Correct. Market is a trade show. Generally, things aren't being sold at market, except that you're doing a lot of educating to shop owners, to the press, to different individuals, and you're making connections, and you're finding out what's on the leading edge of the next year and years worth of quilting. You get to rub shoulders with everybody who is everybody, which makes it really, really, really fun. But you have to be a professional in some form in order to be able to get on the floor and take advantage of all that market partnering that happens in the business. And then again, and it's generally a little bit smaller. It's generally it's very well attended, Carla, from all over the world.
Yeah.
There are generally, I met a number of people from Australia and England and Canada. And then once that's over, and that only lasts 3 days, once that is over, the show closes down. They reconfigure the booth space, and it grows. It spreads in all directions. And then the shop owners come in, and so you're likely to have shop owners and business owners who are able to sell retail. So we're going to be here demonstrating our tools to people who may not know. I don't know where they have been for the last 20 years if they don't know about Studio 180, but we'll walk them through the basic processes, and we have stuff here to put in their hands for them to be able to take home and enjoy and start to follow be part of the cult, right?
Yeah. Excellent. Well,
Yes.
we're always excited when there's new stuff, especially new stuff from you. Question: it is the
Yep.
fall,
Yes.
and Lynn and I are certified instructors for you,
Yes.
and have been for
A
very long
while,
time.
a
11
long
years.
time. Is it 11 years already? Oh my gosh.
I
How's that
know.
happen?
Yeah, yeah.
But we haven't aged one bit.
No,
We
no.
are
Oh, I don't know.
Oil of Olay.
Uh-oh, she froze.
Oh, Deb froze.
If I'm out of bed in the morning, it's like, okay, I know that 11 years earlier. I'm back.
All
Am I
right.
here?
Oh yeah.
Yep, you're good. You're good. So in
Yes.
order, now you run a certification program every year.
We have
So
every year.
tell us about this certification program that we were, second year?
You were second year. Okay. Basically, I'm a realist when it comes to what the products are that I've developed. I know that my products are basically pieces of plastic with black lines on them. They don't call to you when you walk into a quilt shop and say, "Oh, I have to have that." That's that. No, but once you know, so there's an education uh, part of that I have to have with the tools, and we knew that 10 years ago, 11 years, 12 years ago, that no matter how many videos I did, no matter how many shows I did, no matter how many classes that I taught, I would never be able to educate enough people to really make the business grow and be successful. And so it was actually my sister-in-law, Sue Tucker, who is my husband's twin sister. And we are Studio 180 Design. We are the owners of the business. Sue suggested that we start the certified instructor program to establish regional experts. So Carla lives in Canada, and she is, she knows all things Studio 180. Lynn lives in Vermont. We have certified instructors 100 plus at this point, all over this country, in Norway, in Denmark, in Sweden. And, these are people that are close to you in one way or another who can offer classes and who are offering classes and who are, working at local events and local quilt shows or local guilds and offering, doing retreats. And so but it is more of a family than it ever is a competition. We're not a company that says, "Oh, well, how many classes did you teach, Carlin? Lynn, how many classes did you teach?" That's not what it's all about. The whole thing is about sharing ideas, sharing thoughts, sharing issues. If there's, I've been asked to do a retreat or I've been asked to do a lecture, how many quilts should I take? And we do all that amongst ourselves. And it's kind of a growing family affair. It's more of a family than it is anything else. And it's one of the things truly I'm most proud of, that we've developed friendships around the world with quilting at its base, and Studio 180, particularly.
Well, and I think Lynn and I can both attest to the fact that her and I and Katrina and Jackie became our core group that we certified with. We are still in contact with and very close. We try to get together, twice a year, and it's nonstop chatter about what's new. How do you do this? Yeah.
It's in the relationships that we've built is invaluable to how successful and how you can take your journey forward with these tools, because it's not just understanding the methods and using the well-designed tools. It's also the network that we live in with all of our resources who are humans. They're quilters, they teach, they lecture, they design, and they know, and they check things, when we go back and forth, it's invaluable, the relationships and this network that we've built. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today if I hadn't had this stepping stone, 11 years ago. It certainly added to the toolbox, and the core CIs, the CI2s that we call ourselves, that have gotten so close that we support each other. I mean, I pulled on these guys about a week ago and said, I got 24 hours till a deadline. You got to look at this. Can you look at this? Can you just stop your whole life and help me? And they did. And we do it back and forth. And so it's just become.
And you do it willingly and without pay or expectation of it's a friendship, it's a family, it's a team. It really is a team effort to make the things that you do, the things that I do, and the things that all of our certified instructors do more successful and better for the world that they're living in, whatever world that is, whether it's designing, whether it's teaching, whether it's running cruises, which I hear you two are doing in the spring. Is that right?
That is right.
That is right.
Yeah, and my favorite Studio 180 tool is on that special design for that cruise, and that's that Tucker trimmer. I am in a constant love affair daily with that tool. So
I call that my power tool. It never leaves a cutting mat.
Well, and it's I always tell everybody, because they always go, if I only buy one, what do I buy?
Oh.
And it's like, as much as I love the wing clipper, okay, your Tucker trimmer, if you never learn how to do anything else but those basic 3 components, you'll quilt for the rest of your life.
Right. Well, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but there was a quilter 30 years ago, 40 years ago, when I was a really young quilter. And I started when I was 2, by the way. But her name was Doreen Speckman. You guys might know her, but she wrote a book. It was called Pattern Play. And when you opened the book, the whole theory of the content was learn to make about 24 basic shapes well. And if you could learn to make those 24 basic shapes well, you could quilt a lifetime full of creative designs without ever having any patterns or stress or anything. And 20, 30 years ago, that made so much sense to me. And if you've ever opened up that book and looked on the inside, all of those basic units are what all my fundamental tools revolve around. I use those as my guidepost for, now, and we, of course, use some Tucker trimmer more than we'd use others, but, it's just like, I tell everybody, good tools in your quilting toolbox are just like having good tools in your kitchen. You use your spatula a whole lot more than you use your lemon zester, but when you need your lemon zester, you just want a lemon zester,
Right.
So anyway, that's my kind of spiel.
It's the right tool for the right job every day.
That's exactly it. And there isn't a guy in the world that wouldn't agree with you. Not one.
Yeah.
Hence, the quilting world continues to be funded.
Well, and I often tell my students that sometimes you get so excited about the tools and what they do that you do sort of sound a little bit like a salesman, but and sometimes it's hard. People don't understand why you write. For Lynn and I, we both write patterns. And we write solely with Studio 180 tools because they work. They just work. I can't help it. I've been doing this gig for decades, and that's I'm not that old.
She's also too.
But we lost a lot of quilters to the complexity of doing perfect piecing.
Right. Absolutely.
They started going, I can't ever get a point, or I can't ever get a straight block, or blah, blah, blah. So we lost them. And, we've seemed to be able to pull them back, and they're
absolutely.
So the brain on you, Mrs. That's
well, thank you.
Right. Thank you.
Of course, this is another story, from my past, when I was developing the tools, and this was pretty early on. This is before I had a Sarah pushing me to go forward and make sure I get things done on time. But, I would, I'd get a tool and I'd get the drawings done and I'd get it off to the manufacturer, and the prototype would come back and I'd start using it. And I'm like, oh, this is pretty great. And I'd be using it. And after about a month my husband would look at me and say, my husband, who's the CEO of the company, says, "Are we ever going to get that thing onto the market?" And I'm like, "Well, I've got mine. I don't care about the rest of the world." And it was like, no, we can't do that in this business. You got to get. So, we're pretty efficient now with the team that we have at the home office, that, the idea comes and it's a process, and it takes far less than the first one did. The first one took 2.5 years from concept drawing on a piece of paper to actually having something that we could market to the industry. So now it takes, I would say, 6 months, give or take, maybe a little less on some, maybe a little more on others. But so anyway, that's a little bit about the backstory.
So Lynn has one of the newer additions to the Studio 180 tool
Collection.
And those are your rulers.
First choice.
Your straight rulers.
Yeah.
Right. And there's certain things that you like about rulers. Some people love the 1/2 inch. Some people hate the 1/2 inch. I don't know how about you guys are, but every time I pick a ruler up that has something and a half, I'm constantly using the wrong side and I'm miscutting strips. So
you need to put red electrical tape on that 1/2 inch. No, you go pull them out of my students. No, red electrical tape on that side.
This is you got to do something, because the mistakes happen often. So I thought, doggone it, if I'm going to do rulers, there will not be any 1/2 inch edges that are going to cause those mistakes. But the diagonal line placement on those are what really make those tools different and unique, and able to be used not just for cutting strips, but for doing diagonal cuts in various ways, marking diagonals, cutting diagonals. And so it after, again, 40 plus years of using everything else that's on the market, I said, I like this. And I don't know about you guys, that dedicated 1/4 inch line that runs along that one edge. My eyes are focused on that all the time.
Do you know, I was pulling out rulers today, and my rulers are so old that they don't even have half of the new lines on them. Like, I have drawn the new lines, and I thought, I'm going to have to splurge and buy new tools, because I have the new lines.
So, speaking of things that are old,
yes,
and I'm not talking about us. We are not old.
No,
at all.
We're well seasoned.
Time, okay,
veterans.
So, what is the oldest thing in your studio that came from Deb? And when? So, 2 questions. And when did you buy your first Studio 180 tool?
Okay. So the oldest that I have is a spotlight tool.
Spotlight tool as well.
Okay. So the spotlight is now known as the corner beam.
Mm-hmm.
It was a limited edition.
One run. We made one run. Right. Yeah.
So I do have the spotlight. And about 2 years before I certified, the shop owner had gotten a hold of the wing clipper. And I teach forever, but I was in there doing a class, and she said, by the way, have you seen this tool? And I'm like, nope. And she goes, I'm going to send it home with you. I'm not going to say anything more, and I want you to try it. And that was the wing clipper. And I made 4 flying geese at a time. Now, prior to that, I had been teaching 4 at a time, but in that perfect world, and they never turned out, and they were awful, and everybody hates flying geese, and you did it, and you squared it up, and then it was like, okay, so who is this? What is this thing? What is this person? What is this company? I want more. And then 2 years later, I came down and certified with you. And my funny backstory is I had 2 years earlier designed a quilt that I had self-published, and I had done that leaf that you have on your autumn runway, you know, the corner beam. But I didn't have a ruler, and took me almost a month to graph it out to that 9-inch block that I wanted to make. And I was so proud of it. And I brought the quilt with me to certification. And I'm like, look what I did. And you looked at it and you said, hey, that's the corner beam. And at that moment, I thought, oh, now I'm upset. And I've never looked back.
Good.
So
that's wonderful.
My oldest item that I have in the studio that was from Deb, not Studio 180, is this guy right here.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. DAT quilt lady?
Yeah. This is a 2005 copyright.
Ooh.
Okay, it's a collector's item, and this guy's never going to leave the studio.
It needs to be framed.
Also, yeah. So I thought about at one point sending it to you, and then I'm like, no, I'm going to keep it for a while.
You can just sign it, put it in a frame.
Flying geese method, way before the wing clipper. You know, it was that just put the 4 squares on, you know, and pray.
Yeah, really.
Right? And then I have the sales receipt from my very first tool purchase at VQF in 2011.
Oh my goodness.
I purchased the Lemoyne, the Petite Hunter Star, and the Tucker trimmer, along with Tsunami.
Oh, Tsunami.
Yeah.
We have one of the quilters have just chimed in. Leanne, by the way, is a phenomenal Studio 180 teacher here in Ontario. She teaches at Quilter's Cupboard in Uxbridge. And Leanne says her first ruler was the Rapid Fire Lemoyne, and it's still her favorite. And you know, I watch things that Leanne does all the time, and she does the, oh God, help me out, the class. You know, come on,
the class, the techniques, the.
Leanne, help me out. She teaches the
Tucker University.
Tucker University.
Tucker University. Got it.
Yeah. So, yeah, she is doing her part to spread the word. Yep, and lots of club classes and blocks of the months down there. So,
wonderful.
She's got Southern Ontario pretty much wound up for us down there, spreading the word.
Well, I appreciate that.
Hi, Doreen. I just want to say hi to Doreen, and Jackie Mowdy's on as well. So,
hi, Jackie. Hi, Doreen. Is that Doreen Petternoni?
No, it's a quilter friend of mine, but she's an avid follower of yours, and she was so excited that we were doing this. So I just wanted to say hi to her because she popped on and said hello.
Hello, Doreen.
Yeah.
So Lynn and I.
Oh no, you go first.
Okay,
who's on first?
I'll go first.
Fight nice, girls.
We're looking forward to being in the classroom together. I mean,
yeah,
you should sign up for the cruise, Deb, and just come along and cruise with us.
I might just do that. You never know where I'm going to turn up. Like last week, right?
Yes,
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. I'll tell you about that when we're.
So
but anyway,
you've got the CI training thing going on.
Yes.
And we talked about your new rulers.
Yes.
But just in the last little while, like the last week or so, Lynn and I got a notice that you have new technique sheets out.
We do. And I'm going to assume that most of you in the audience know what a technique sheet is. But if you don't, basically, there they have one. And they're thinking, well, what is this thing? Technique sheets are process cards that take you beyond the basic instructions that come with the tool. So once you've got the tool, and this is how we work at the studio, at the office, or the home front, the home team, is once we have a tool in our hands and we know how to use it, then we start to say, but what else? What else? What else? What else? So the technique sheets are not going to give you a pattern, and they're not going to give you a project. They're a process card, not a product card. And they generally, well, I'll tell you what, flash up those technique sheets, girls, so they can see. In the upper right-hand corner, each of the technique sheets has a label for what tool the technique is associated with. And then beside it, there are stars there. And those stars indicate the difficulty level. So, if I think Lynn's got 4 stars on hers, and what do I see on yours, Carla? 3 stars?
3, yeah.
Okay, 3 stars is pretty easy. 4 stars, 5 stars, that means you shouldn't be doing that one in the afternoon with a glass of wine. Do the 4 and 5 stars in the morning with a cup of coffee, because you got to have your wits about you. And you should really, before you jump into any of the techniques, you should be really comfortable with the tool and the basic uses of the tool, so that you can then push it to another level. But it's got all the sizes. We work out all the math so that you're still making things oversized and trim it down.
Sizes. I mean, that's got to be the biggest selling feature for me. I have to tell you, I am not a one-shop any kind of quilter.
Me either.
If I got a tool, that tool has to do more than one shape, one size. Bottom
Absolutely.
line. Things are
Absolutely.
up north, and that's how I rock and roll. And so it's this, pick a size.
Right. Absolutely.
There's lots of things you can do. Please.
Yeah.
And they just with the highlighter, they're amazing.
Yeah. So the 2 new ones.
Yeah.
We have to show you. Okay. So for the wedge star, there's the compound wedge. So
which is basic.
Like a wedge and a wedge.
It's a wedge star inside of a wedge star. That's exactly what it is.
And
that's exactly what it is.
It's a really fun block to make. So that's one of the new ones.
Yep.
You were earlier talking about that little tool in the upper right-hand corner.
Yep.
So this afternoon, I had class. I had students here, and Lynn had made hers this morning, sent me a picture, and I went, oh, she's got hers done already. Okay, so I pulled fabric out. I had looked at the compound wedge and thought, wedge star, she's designing with new wedge star. Got my wedge star out, got the instructions out, and I started reading the technique sheet and went, oh my God, this is a Lemoyne. Back into this drawing board, pulled it out, and I did it when the students were here and they were watching, and we were sort of going through the process.
Okay.
It is easy peasy. I can't get over how nice this goes together, because when you look at it, you get that little fear button going.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
fear
how many angles do I have to try to figure out with this one? But it was super simple.
Yeah.
And it's just.
And the best thing is, there is no paper needing to be removed when you are done with these complex looking blocks. I mean, we all know paper foundation. Most of us do, the basics anyway. But I don't know about you, and I don't mind doing paper foundation piecing. But it's sitting there when it's done and having to pick out that paper, it pushed me over the edge. That's not a very long drop.
Yeah. I think about paper piecing kind of like I think about pinning. And I'm a productive pinner. So I don't pin because my grandmother told me I should pin. I only pin when it makes a difference. And so you should only use paper piecing when it makes a difference.
Yes.
If you can piece it together with good tools on the market without all that extra work, why not? Because you know what?
Right.
Then you're off to your next project sooner.
Right.
Right tool for the right job.
Yeah. Well, those blocks look beautiful, girls. You did it. Give yourself credit for your next recertification, huh?
Yeah, we'll just take a picture. You've seen them already, Deb. If you want to close up the pointer.
I got it. You got it.
Lynn, Leanne just wrote, read through your tips on the blog.
That's kind of like tech sheet bubbles, like these.
So you guys have a blog?
Yes, she just did a blog post. Studio 180 just did a blog post about this.
Somebody else did that, not me.
Yeah. I saw it. I did not read the whole thing, but I saw the Facebook post saying, we got these in. These tech sheets just hit the warehouse in North Carolina, so they're now available for you guys to order. We're ordering them, us teachers and shop owners are ordering them. So they're starting to move in transit to us, and you can get them right off the website. So
thinking about tips on the blog, I have to say that the support that Studio 180 gives novice quilters, even experienced quilters, between the videos, between the Facebook stuff, just
right-handed, left-handed.
And then the block of the I want to call it the block of the
blockbusters.
The blockbuster stuff. Look at the what your tools can do, and all that. There is so much support.
Thank you.
Yeah. And the other thing is if you lose your tool instructions, you can just go to the website on your tool and get yourself an 8.5 by 11 version of it. So,
and that's actually nice to have, especially when you're dealing with the wedge star, Lynn.
Right.
Because those.
I put that on my supply list.
Yeah. So that you're not dealing with a big, looks like the 10 Commandment tablet,
Yeah.
It's a menu from a good restaurant.
Right.
The other selling feature that you guys have going for you with regards to these tools is an example that Lynn and I played with over the summer, is taking your tools and adapting it to other written patterns that may or may not haven't been written for the tool, but as long as you know, say for example, the flying geese, as long as you know what size you want to make, you can adapt that process to that other written tool. And we call it tuckerizing. So we tuckerized, Alaska.
Yeah.
The wedge makes it so much easier than templates. Sorry, Edita.
Well, it's hard to piece accurately and consistently with bias cut open. It's really hard. And why make this hard on yourself? It's just like with curves, same thing. The bias is open. When you have that bias open, it is not stable. I mean, it's just not stable. So,
and the goal has always for me to be to increase everybody's success rate and at the same time decrease their stress level, because no one got into quilting to add stress to their life. And some of these pattern writers that I see out there, I kind of, the hair goes up on the back of my neck. I'm like, why are you asking people to do this? They won't be successful. It will end up being not as pretty as they want it to be. Just know what other options you have when you're approaching your different ways to piece quilts.
We have one more comment. Randy's asking, how do you come up with a new blockbuster every month?
I have to turn this over to Sarah if you want to have that, because Sarah's like the Ruby McKim of the quilt world. If you know Ruby McKim, I mean, back in the 1930s, every week she posted a new original block. But that's Sarah, and she, I don't know whether you guys do this or not. We do a lot of doodling on, your design programs. We happen to use Adobe Illustrator because it crosses all the platforms that we have in the business. But, some of these blocks, they just kind of happen. Sometimes, Sarah and I will go back and forth and it's like, well, try this and try this and try this. And then we send it off to a graphic artist and our graphic artist, and she colors it different ways and it gets a totally different look from one to the other. But I mean, when you think about it, taking lines on basic shapes, it's endless. There really is no end.
Yeah.
So, but that's all Sarah. I haven't designed one of those.
Speaking of lines, you also have a line of fabric that you put out several times a year through Island.
We do.
So your present one is hitting the.
It's hitting now, currently, and it's the first time we've done this. We've been designing with Island Boutique for 8 or 10 years. First as, can I have some fabric to make a quilt for my next pattern? Yes, and to the point we now are involved in the whole process from the beginning to the very end, including designing the chops, choosing the color groupings and working with the Valley manufacturers and all that kind of stuff. Hey, Sarah, can you grab the Sunset and the Aurora? For the first time ever, we actually decided to do, the concept was we wanted to do a pastel rainbow. Well, when we go to choose the fabrics that are that it's about 3 to 400, fat eights come back, and we have to narrow that 3 to 400 down to 22 for a collection, which it takes hours and hours. It takes 5 of us hours and hours and hours to do this. We couldn't get it down to just one collection. So we called and we said, can we make 2? So there's 2 collections. And one is a warm collection with oranges and golds and pinks and into the red violets, and the other one is a cool collection in blues and teals and into the blue violet collections, and they are just now starting to hit shops. And we are going to have some for sale here for the first time. We just got ours about 2 days before I left, and I thought I can cut these up. I can bring these to festival. So if you happen to be here at festival, you can come and get them here first, and we'll have more when we go home. And I've got many more to cut when we get there. But visit your local quilt shops. You support them first, because they're the ones that are helping us all out with all of our quilting needs. So Aurora and Sunset, those are the 2.
Aurora and Sunset.
Yes.
Aurora and Sunset. I've had the honor, and I say that with pride, of being chosen for my patterns for 2 of your fabric lines over the last couple of years.
Yes.
Harvest Hues was for your Forest Flora.
That's this collection here, and it's the one that's over there over my other shoulder as well. Yep. Forest Flora.
Yep. And then the one before that was, this is going back, and there's a lot up here. The year before that was the blues and purples, and
dots and squiggles, wasn't it?
Dots, lines, and squiggles.
Squiggles, dots, and lines. Squiggles, dots, and lines.
Yes. And so the pattern. God, Carla, you're bad tonight.
You didn't have your cheat sheet.
Yeah, such a scrappy start, and it's all Lemoyne. So
yes. Yep. Well, designing fabric. I knew nothing about this, 8 or 10 years ago when we started working with Island Boutique in a partnership arrangement. And, we've learned over the years, but it is a very long, involved process. In about, we're in the middle of October. In about 3 to 4 weeks, what we have to do as designers is present our chops, which are the designs that you see on the boutique for the fall winter 2027 collection. Now we're in 2025. So that's when we will see that in that catalog, and it'll be 6 months beyond there before it shows up in a shop. So we are juggling past collections and forward collections for 2 years in either direction. And it's a lot of fun, but it does come with, some contractual responsibilities. And, but it's really totally fun to just say, okay, what do we want to do next? And somebody will come up with an idea and we'll run with it. And then our daughter is a trained, graphic artist. So she's the point person on that. She does most of the designing, passes it through us at the home team, and we figure it out and give her feedback, and then send the whole proposal over to Valley, and it's one step after the next. So kind of fun. Never know. You never know. I mean, if somebody had told me 20 years ago, 30 years ago that I'd be here in Houston, this is probably, I think I figured out this is probably between my 25th and 30th market and festival scenario. If somebody had told me 20 years ago when I walked on here with that rookie label across my forehead with my first 2 tools, the Hunter Star and the Tucker Trimmer, that I would be doing what I'm doing in the industry now, I would have told them, you are so full of prune juice, this is never going to happen. And now it's just, it's fun. It's something we look forward to every fall. And I'm always thrilled to be here and love to see the some people come back who have been here for many, many years to talk with those and reconnect with those people and to meet new people that are, are looking to find out what it's all about. So that's why we're here.
Yeah. So in the vein of the whole Island Boutique thing and this right now, us, Carla and I, sit in the position of in 2 weeks, the next round of our designs are due in for the spring, the 2027 spring summer lines. So anyway, they start as the fabric designers, and then we start about 6 months later as the pattern designers, and then about 18 months from that, you guys all see the fabric in the shop. So that was sort of on our docket from, on the other side of the fence or in that partnership as we try and produce. They try and produce great fabric. We try and produce great designs that will sell that fabric, and that's the job. So I have just hot off the press my work from the printer. So this
I love it, love it, love it.
And it is
over and under.
Yep, and it's specializing that Tucker Trimmer 1. Whole bunch of techniques. You'll learn how to use that tool, soup to nuts, and you'll never put it down again. So anyway, it's a 6-month program that should be on my website pretty soon here in the next few days. Had a hard deadline today with AQS. So, but I got through that. It just seems like every few days there's one of these really hard deadlines.
Yeah. I said the cardinal bad word this afternoon talking to Lynn, and I said the cruise quilt, and I said because there's a bit of a lull, and then she goes, "No, don't jinx it. Suck it back in. Don't
ever say lull."
Yeah, don't. There's no lull. Yeah.
And there really isn't. There really isn't. When you get into it, get to a certain level, and it's a job. It's something that we do on a daily basis, and it is the most fun job I've ever done in my entire life. And I don't know what I will ever do or if I'll ever fully retire, but Carla's got something she's going to share with us.
This is fall winter catalog, so you'll see it in the Island Boutique thing. And this is
lovely.
Yes,
gorgeous.
That's just come out.
My favorite tool, the split racks.
Split racks, absolutely. Yep. Tucker Trimmer elongated.
With bonus technique sheet for the border.
Awesome. What's the name of that one, Carla?
There we go. I am a Canadian. With a Scandinavian background. So it is called Lumi, which is Finnish for snow.
For snow. Lumi.
Lumi.
L-U-M-I.
L-U-M-I. So
I don't know if you know this, Carla. My grandson was actually born in Finland as
well.
Yes,
I do. And I actually had the honor of talking to Haley a couple of times while she was in Finland. So,
Yep. They're back in the U.S. now, but so it really is a small world, isn't it?
It is.
It's a small world. And it's been a great journey. We're all really passionate about what we do in quilting, and it's ticking every day. So, yeah.
One last question. What's next?
Ooh.
Can't tell you. I can't tell you. No.
So here's my advice. Sign up for her newsletter, because the minute the cat is out of the bag, that's where you're going to see it first.
That's absolutely true. And not a minute before. And even to my very best of friends, there are certain things that we follow protocol on, and one is that when we release it, it's ready to go, and we're not releasing something that is of poor quality. So, but there's something coming, and it'll, like I told you guys, kind of. You guys by Thanksgiving, and Carla's in Canada, so her Thanksgiving's next week. I said, no, not next week. Then we got a couple more weeks that we need him. But there's always something. And there, and we so appreciate. I'm glad you guys asked me to do this. I'm, hoping that anybody who's in Houston stops by, says hello, comes on in and asks any questions that they have. And I value your support. I value your knowledge and your understanding and your willingness to share that knowledge with people who might not know about a better way.
A better way.
So it's all fun, gals.
It's always an adventure, Deb.
It is. It is.
Well, we will continue on, but for now, we're just going to let Deb go. She's awfully busy. I'm sure she's glad she's had a rest, though, so she doesn't have to go back and hang quilts. And
we'll be here for another hour or two tonight before we go back and then finish up tomorrow morning.
Don't keep talking.
No, I'd like to make it an hour rather than 2 tonight. So I better get back to work. But thanks again, girls, for having me on, and good luck with everything. And I'll see you soon.
All right.
See you
Thanks,
soon.
Deb.
Thanks, Deb.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Well, that was wonderful.
That was
wonderful conversation. And so I just wanted to say hi to a couple people. Taylor, I see you. And yes, I know you love her tools. And she's just an incredible creator. So, and then Kayla's here as well. Thanks for joining. And if you didn't see the beginning of this, remember you can go and watch this recorded session. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're thrilled that she took time out of her little setup day for festival to chat with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got a few things we still have to cover tonight. I have to say that every time we get on, and I just a minute, I have to post the next one.
Oh yeah.
I do this. I get a little heart palpitation because I think another month just went by.
Yeah.
We missed another month. I missed September because September's that beginning month, right? It's that back into quilting, you back into teaching, back into things. And then now we're just in the thick.
Yes, we are. Yeah. So September was, a month where I was on the road to AQS in Lancaster, and then I was home for just a couple of days, and then I turned around. But I left and I went and did a retreat with some of my quilting buddies, some other CIs. And when I ended up just southeast of Pittsburgh, I drove all the way to Pittsburgh to get away from the mundane, my everyday life, so I could sew for myself. Guess who was in the room when I walked in the room? Deb Tucker. I'm like, what? So 4 CI2s walked in the room, and there was Deb. And Deb had no idea we were coming, and we had no idea she was going to that very same go do your own thing retreat. So
she was there to sew her own thing.
That's right. She was sewing her own thing, and so were the rest of us.
Yeah.
And so
And
I got to sew on something extremely special, and it's secret, so I can't tell anybody about it. But I had a really good week. It's a long drive, full day, sun up to sundown. But I got to just go and sew. I didn't have to answer business calls. I didn't have to worry about designing something. I just did something for myself, which was really, really nice after the long travel year I've had. And when I returned home from that concluded my multi-day travel for 2025. So between now and February, I only have single-day travel teaching events or lecturing events. So I'm kind of excited about that. I'll be home here and kind of get something done.
Sorry, Jackie. My boo-boo. This is why it's live. But November 12th is a Wednesday, not a Tuesday.
Hey, that's why we have phones and calendars and friends that read what we post. Which, we talked about that earlier. Our friends friendships that we've made and relationships that have been made over the last 10 years are just invaluable to us. Jackie, you're one of those.
You're one of those. Just checking everything that we write, because there are days. There's so many Post-it notes on I wish I could just show you the absolute mess that's in, because there's Lynn called this, and there's cruise things, and then there's pattern things, and it just goes on and on and on. I spent last weekend with the most loveliest group of ladies. I haven't taught, even though they're so close to my neck of the woods, I haven't had the opportunity, and they don't do a lot of guest speakers or teachers. So I was really happy that they chose me to sort of go down, spent the whole day with them. And we laughed a lot and we learned a lot. And that's what it's about. I was happy that we're starting to see everybody get out of their sewing rooms and come out and do stuff, because I do so rather do that.
Me too. Hey, Kayla. Yes, we're working on getting me back to teach some more curved piecing to Amy's quilt room. So keep yourself on the keep chatting with Amy about that. I know that at the end of the fall Take Two retreat, there was a lot of enthusiasm. So Amy and I are working on that. So give your 2 cents to Amy. Yeah, so next week I'm going to start my Tuckerized Alaska over at Middlebury. And then November is full of finishing classes, whole bunch of finishing classes for people to get those UFOs or those Christmas gifts that they started back in July that they kind of put on hold because it was summer, to get those wrapped up. So that's sort of what's on the docket.
I get to go to a retreat as an attendee, much like you did. On the 21st, I'll be in the Muskokas at a lodge with my friends, and taking with me all those. I only usually get to go every second year because I'm usually booked for classes. So I didn't get to go last year because I was in Maine. And I get to go this year to sew Christmas presents because the grandkids are coming from across the ocean.
The grandkids are coming.
Now, which means that November will be filled with my news of I won't be quilting the Christmas gifts because my granddaughter that's here, when we were in Saskatchewan, found we were in a quilt shop, and those, she's 5. So you're in the quilt shop and you're looking and you get this little tug on your shirt and she looks at you and she says, Yaya, can you make me this? And it was a teddy bear. And I'm thinking, this is not quilting. This is bear making. Yaya doesn't bear make. I don't. Oh dear. And the big eyes look at you like, you can sew anything. You fix my stuffy all the time. So here's the glitch. If you make, because the other 2 are coming from across the ocean and they'll all be together. If you make 1 for 1, you've got to make the other 2 1. So when I'm in the retreat at the end of the month, there will be bear making. But I've chosen that because if you're going to run into problems, with any luck, there's somebody in that room.
That's right.
That's right. So out of my league. I'll be totally out of my league making bears.
Yep. You'll have a lot of fun with that, though.
Well,
absolutely will.
I just have visions of, do they all have to be the same color? Because the 3-year-old is going to want the blue one that I made for the other one, and and they'll be like, nope, this is yours.
Yeah. Designated bears.
Designated bears. Yes.
Yeah. Carla mentioned that cruise quilt. So we got to talk a little bit of just a couple of points about the cruise. So we got a few spots left, and we're getting down to the point where we're going to have to, put fabric on order. But in the month of October, we will, for all of you who are signed up for the cruise, we will be releasing a bunch of things. There'll be an email that will lead you to a survey so that we can get to know our quilters. Okay. It'll also on that survey ask you to supply your Facebook handle if you want to join a private, non-searchable Facebook group that's just for the group that's going with us. Okay. Yeah. So we can share tips and tricks on, do I have to heat-pack hair dryer, or how do I do this, or how do I do
What
that?
hotel are you staying in?
Yeah, and
When
do
you
we want to
fly?
meet the night before, and all of that kind of stuff. The other thing is then that will lead us into getting pretty close to publishing more information about what you don't need to pack and what you do need to pack, because a lot of what you'll need will be provided on that ship. So
don't pack socks. It's going to be hot. They promised this Canadian it was going to be hot. So I'm not packing socks. Just saying.
Yeah, you watch. We'll have a rain day when it'll be cool, and we'll all have been in the sun for 4 days, and we'll think that 72 and rain is freezing.
I'm going to go online and go, I need socks.
Yeah. Anyway, we're super excited. We're, like Carla said, we're shifting gears now here in October. There's not really a lull. There's a chance for us to just move to the next item. And the next item is putting the final touches on that yardage and everything for that quilt, so that we can get that fabric moving towards us.
There are a few singles. So if you're a single and you're hesitating because you'd like to come, but you don't have a friend, be it quilter or non-quilter, because please remember that even if you're not a quilter, you can attend with a quilter,
Right.
So husband, spouse, friend, whatever. But yeah, if you're a single, don't be shy. Pick up that phone, because there are others in the same situation.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's where we are on the cruise front. And I think the only other thing that I wanted to say was, I'm super thankful. I've had a really great year out and about with all you quilters, and just so blessed that I got all the opportunities I got. I met all the cool people that I did along the way, and that hopefully we'll meet again. But I want to inspire you to keep your quilting journey going. Even though I'm not going out on the road for the next 4 months, which hasn't happened since the pandemic, so we'll see how this goes. Just keep your journey going. I know for me, I'm going to try and pick up a few of those UFOs that have been hanging out and get a few of those done. So think about that. Think about your UFOs.
I have to say that keeping your journey going, much like the block that I did today. When I looked at that block, I thought, oh, okay, look at all these angles. Look at all these spikes. Look at all this. Oh my God. This is going to be miserable. Right. And it, stretch that comfort zone, be it a color, be it a technique. Go find something new. Yeah. We all like to be in that comfort zone. I know that, it's soup season and casserole season is back and things got cheese on them. Okay.
And there's bread coming out of the oven and there's a stick of butter.
But sometimes, it does the spirit good to challenge yourself with something new, a new tool, a new pattern. And there's a lot of support. I mean, you saw tonight with Deb here, the support that you have with, instructors and videos from her. So there's lots of stuff out there to give a go. Don't let points scare you.
Right. Try it. Just give it a try. Not everything's for everybody, but if you give it a try, you never know. If you don't like it, maybe you tried it along somebody who did like it, who you never met before. So these people you meet along your journey, they're kind of cool. Just saying.
Lynn sat in front of me.
I know.
Certification. And our really good friend Katrina sat behind me. And I had nobody else to talk to but Lynn and Katrina. Yeah.
Right. Yep. And here we are talking with each other still.
Still, it's what I do best.
Oh. Okay.
Well, perfect.
So next month, November.
Next month, Wednesday, November the 12th.
Wednesday.
Wednesday, November the 12th, we'll be back here again with another month under our belt. And unfortunately, yes, I'm going to go there with only a month away from ho, 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 Merry Christmas. So
right.
if you haven't thought about those Christmas gifts, you have now been notified.
Yes.
There's none of this the night before Christmas sewing the binding on. Get hammered. Get them done. With that said, I do have Christmas socks, stockings that didn't make Christmas last year because it's a UFO. So it is top of the UFO list to get finished.
Yeah, we're not going to show our UFO piles.
No,
not
But
happening.
it's more fun. I did find 2 new So Kind of Wonderful patterns today that I really want to make. And one of them is the new one called Spring. Have you seen it? It's umbrellas with little flowers underneath.
I have it. And I have forbid myself from starting it because I have to finish a UFO first.
Yeah.
So we, Carla and I, and a couple other, Jackie and Katrina, started a UFO, Quilters UFO Anonymous Club. Anyway, Katrina's winning. She doesn't even think the rest of us are playing because she says we're non-active members of the group because we can't seem to get any UFOs done.
I just nothing.
I am still my very, very first long arm. So there's quilting UFOs and there's piecing UFOs and such, right? Well, so when we started this, and it wasn't last January, and it wasn't the January before, and I'm not going back any further than that, but my long arm UFO, top of the list, was Tsunami. That first quilt I made of Deb Tucker's. And I finally got it pieced, the borders. I didn't like the borders. I had to finish that. And I did it out of like 60s fabric. So I had to find enough to finish. Anyway, I got it finished. And so it's been a few years that it's been on the long arm, top of the list, UFO. So I'm really going to push myself to try and get that done. And you know what? You guys will be the first to see that quilt done.
Mine's quilted. I just don't know where it is. I got too many trunks of quilts. I'm scared to pull them all out to look for it, to be honest with you, but they're in there somewhere. Yeah. So, if you happen to be one of those quilters that buys it and makes it and is done and moves on, hats off. Because
like Jackie says, she was good for January and February.
Yeah.
Quilt that UFO last year. Yeah.
Yeah. So
okay.
Fun never ends. The fun never ends with us. It is October. The colors here in Ontario are absolutely lovely. It's been hot. We all went swimming on the weekend. It was something crazy like 28 degrees, which is
close to 80.
Close to 80 outside. I actually got sunburned sitting on the dock. So I've got to keep my tan up for the cruise.
Yeah, right.
But yes, the calendar keeps ticking. So will we, and so will you. So with that, big thanks to everybody for tuning in. Now, remember, we say this every week, but in order for you to keep watching us, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. It'll pop into your email box and it'll give us some points. So subscribe, hit that like, and keep on quilting.
That's right.
Yeah. Stay inspired, stay quilting. And Lynn, it's been fun.
It's been great. It's always fun. Our conversations are always fun. They're inspiring. It's nice to laugh and giggle about the weird things in our lives. And to share it with all of you guys, because I know there's a lot of quilters that are just like us. Yeah.
We're a full bunch.
Yes. All right, everyone. You guys have a great month. We'll see you in November.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.